Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. John Banter, and I serve as the advisor for the Student Government Association. I would like to thank you for your interest in serving in one of our officer or senator positions for the coming year. And during this session, we'd like to cover some information that you need to know as you begin the process of filing for your intent to run and becoming a candidate for student government. In this workshop, we will be talking about what student government is, defining a little bit more detail about the election process, and giving you some information about dates that you need to make sure that you are aware of. So student government is really the body for advocacy for other students. So it is a student organization, and it's compiled of groups of students from all three campuses of Georgia Southern, with Statesboro, Armstrong, and Liberty. It has a very strong connection with our Georgia Southern administration and gives the student body an opportunity to enhance the student experience by being the advocate for other students. You also get to grow in your leadership skills, and you provide support to student organizations as a whole. There are student government executive officers and senator qualifications that you need to be aware of. You have to be an undergrad or graduate student that's currently enrolled at Georgia Southern. And there are forms that you need to fill out that'll be available on our website. You have to attend one of these meetings, which is what you are doing, and be in good standing with the student conduct office and not on any kind of disciplinary probation. You have to be enrolled in the coming fall and spring academic semesters and have a minimum of a 2.5 cumulative GPA at the time that you state you are interested in running, and you must maintain that 2.5 GPA for the entire time you are in office. Undergrad students also must be enrolled in at least 6 credit hours. Grad students only need to be in at least 3 credit hours, which is 1 course usually. And then throughout each semester you're in office, you have to also maintain that minimum level of credit hours, and you need to be paying student activity fees. The executive officer positions have also a requirement that you must have been within serving in SGA in some capacity for at least 1 semester. The position of president carries with it a lot of responsibility, and they are the official representative of student body at official functions for the university. The president often speaks at commencement. They will speak at VIP events for the university as a representative for Georgia Southern students. They serve as a liaison with the faculty and staff, as well as the administration and the community. They are a delegate as part of the Board of Regents Student Advisory Council, which is made up of every institution in the state of Georgia that has a student government association. That Student Advisory Council meets on a regular basis, and you are also a part of committees that are connected to that Board of Regents delegation. You work with other officers within student government, and you call the meetings to meet, you sign legislation, and you have a specific time frame of when you do that. And then you also can veto that legislation if the president deems that it's necessary. The president also makes all executive appointments, and then they do a report that's going to student government as a whole on the activities that you do. You meet with the advisor on a weekly basis. You serve on the student activity fee committee, which reviews how all student activity dollars are spent. They serve and attend all of the Senate meetings, which are the first and third Monday, typically right now, but someday during that week of every month. They chair cabinet meetings, which is one of the things that is a primary duty of the president. And they also have to maintain at least 10 hours per week, with at least 10 of those hours being on a campus that is not their home base. The executive vice president advises and maintains the order and policies recommendations with interest to the Senate. So any Senate position is reporting to the executive vice president. They call special sessions of Senate to consider specific business, and they assist the student government president in all of the execution of actions that student government's going to maintain. They work in the office for at least 10 hours a week, with 10 hours of those being on the campus that is not their home base. And there are some caveats that allow for things to be different if there's a necessity with different regulations and class schedules and whatnot, that you can do video and virtual conferencing to make sure that you are still being seen and maintaining a presence on the other campus. The vice president for finance is the one who is in charge of all of the financial operations for student government. And they work with both the executive vice president and the president to make sure that student government is running in a sound fiscal manner. They create the overall budget for student government, which has to be approved by the Senate, and then are making sure that there's compliance with all of our financial regulations that the university as well as the organization must maintain. They conduct audits of our records with student government, and they must maintain at least 6 office hours per week in that role. Then when it comes to President's Cabinet, you have a vice president for academic affairs, student affairs, auxiliary affairs, alumni affairs, veterans affairs, and inclusive excellence. So all of those meet with the president during President's Cabinet, and they represent those specific groups of students when it comes to areas and interest for making sure that your ideas and thoughts are shared with those groups. So they must maintain 3 hours in the office. They host programs, activities, town halls in relation to the area that they are serving as the vice president. When it comes to senators, senators are creating and preparing legislation for student government, and they serve typically by representing a specific academic college or special interest group. They meet with the administration and the deans of their college at least 2 times per month to discuss business and implement ideas that can improve the academic life that you have within that college. They also serve on SGA committees, and they must complete a minimum of 2 office hours every month. They also are attending at least 1 approved fund request per year. So you can see here that each college has a different number of senators based on the number of students that are in those colleges. And there also are special interest groups for first-year students, Liberty Campus. There are 4 senators that are serving at large, and then 2 senators now serve for the Honors College. So when it comes to our election timeline, we have held some information sessions for students that are interested in running for any position with student government. That's what you are watching right now. The deadline to file for an executive officer and Senate position is this Friday, March 18th at 5 p.m. So that is the Friday, the last Friday of spring break. All eligible candidates will receive a notification within 1 to 2 days of the date that they submitted the form. That's 1 to 2 business days. When it comes to campaigning, March 28th through April 6th, candidates will be able to start campaigning on campus and online. You will be able to run your campaign how you see fit, following the election guidelines that are available on our website. The president and executive vice president, if there are multiple people running for that, they will have a debate, and they can participate in that debate that will take place on March 31st. Elections will take place April 4th through the 6th. That's a Monday through a Wednesday, and they'll close at Wednesday the 6th at 5 p.m. On the 7th, we will announce the winners from the election. And so every position, president through Senate, will be announced. The election guidelines can be found on our student government website, and you can find what the outlines the responsibilities for candidates as you run your election campaign, and what the regulations and violations, if there are any, how they will be handled, as well as eligibility for voters. After the election, there are also some important dates for you to remember. So if you win your seat on student government, there is a transition boot camp that's required for all newly elected executive board and president's cabinet members, which is April 21st through 22nd. And then there's an awards banquet, which is required for all elected officers with student government, which is April 24th, and that's a Sunday from 5 to 8. And at that event is where you will be sworn in by the president of Georgia Southern. The SGA Senate meetings are also held right now on the first and third Monday of each month at 6 p.m. They rotate the campus that they are based on, and there are currently virtual options for senators to join virtually. If you have any questions after watching this video, please email sga@georgiasouthern.edu, and we'd be happy to answer your questions. We look forward to having you run in this election, and please reach out if you have any questions about your candidacy. Thank you.